All right, let's just jump right in. Have you ever really thought about what you are? I mean, on a truly fundamental level. Let's push biology aside for a second. We're about to dive into this incredible idea, one that totally reframes our existence through physics and, get this, computation. And it all takes off with this one huge cosmic question.
And that question is, why did light stop? Seriously, think about it. In the very beginning, all there was light. Just pure, timeless, massless information zipping along at the ultimate speed limit. For a photon, the entire lifespan of the universe, it's just a single instant. So, what gives? What changed? Why are we even here?
Okay, so let's dig into that. To really get why we're here, we gotta go way, way back. Back to the very beginning. To what you could almost call a primordial fall from grace, when light made a choice. The choice to become something else entirely.
This is where it gets really cool, the way this whole idea frames existence. On one hand, you've got this Eden of pure light, right? A perfect, timeless reality. But, and this is a big but, for anything to actually exist, to be seen, to be experienced, it had to pay a price. Light had to slow down. It had to literally curl in on itself, forming these little knots. And in that one moment of slowing down, bam, mass was born. Time started ticking, and inertia, that deep, fundamental resistance to change, it just popped into existence.
So you gotta ask, why? Why would the universe do that? Why trade all that perfection for struggle? The source gives this really beautiful, almost poetic reason. It's like the universe wanted to see itself. It needed to create matter, create us, observers, just so it could have a mirror to look into. Because think about it, without something to stop and reflect the light, the entire cosmos would just be invisible, perfectly transparent, and because of that, perfectly dark.
And this is the punchline. This is where it all comes back to you. Your body, your mind, your consciousness, you are that mirror. You are literally the universe's way of seeing itself. You're the echo of that original light that decided to slow down, to become heavy, all for the chance to exist and to see.
Okay, so if we're all just stopped light, what does that actually mean for our day-to-day lives, for our inner world? Well, that's what we're getting into next. We're going to look at our feelings, our struggles, not as some random psychological quirks, but as, get this, the literal source code of our physical reality.
All right, let's start with inertia. And the human version of that, nostalgia. You know that feeling, right? That resistance to change, not wanting to leave a place or a memory behind. Well, according to this idea, that's not just a feeling. It's the human experience of a fundamental law of physics. Just like a rock doesn't want to be pushed, we, our identities, we develop this kind of psychological mass. It's this deep physical pull to just stay the same.
Okay, now what about something like pain? We usually think of pain as a bad thing, right? Something to avoid at all costs. But what if it's not? What if it's actually a crucial function? Think of it like a bug report from your brain's software. Pain is just a high priority alert that says, hey, your internal map of reality doesn't match the territory anymore. An update is required now. It's not a flaw in the system. It is the system for learning. And this is a fantastic way to think about our core values. Those deep-seated beliefs that are so hard to change, they aren't just simple preferences. The idea here is that they're like these complex, tangled knots in your mind. They're these self-reinforcing loops of logic. And that's why you can't just change them with a new fact. To change a core value, you have to do the hard work of completely untying and retying the very fabric of who you believe you are. And then there's the big one, death. From this computational viewpoint, death isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's basically a complete system format. I mean, think about it. Over a lifetime, you accumulate so many patches, bug reports, outdated beliefs, the whole system just gets bogged down. Death is just the universe's way of hitting Format C drive. It wipes the slate clean, making room for a fresh install. So, okay. Our inner lives seem to follow the laws of physics, but what about our connections with other people? That's where we're going next. We're going to take the same lens and apply it to relationships, framing love not as some big mystery, but as a kind of cosmic geometry. Loneliness is the precondition for love, I know, it sounds kind of backwards, but physically it makes perfect sense. For two things to come together, they have to be separate to begin with. The universe itself had to expand and create all this distance just so the very idea of meeting could even exist. So in this light, loneliness isn't the enemy of love. It's the empty stage that love needs to happen.
So what's the force that pulls us across that empty space? Longing. And I love this analogy. It connects that deep human feeling directly to gravity. You know how gravity is the potential energy between two planets, pulling them together? Well, longing is the potential energy between two people. It's that same kind of fundamental force, just pulling minds together instead of masses. So what about the idea of a soulmate? In this framework, it's not some mystical thing. It's physics. It's what happens when two people meet and realize their inner worlds, those mental lots we talked about, they just fit together perfectly. They have a complementary shape. The technical term is topologically isomorphic. And when that happens, talking is just easy. Information flows between you with zero friction, kind of like electricity through a superconductor. That amazing feeling of you just get me? Yeah, that's the physics of a soulmate. And the takeaway from that is, wow, it's profound, because it means once that connection is made, it's forever. It's permanent. Even if you go your separate ways, the fact that you connected, that shared state you created, it's now a permanent part of the universe's data. It's been saved to the cosmic hard drive, an update to the source code that can literally never be deleted. Okay, let's pull back for a second. So we're at stoplight. We're running this incredibly complex internal software. We're forming these geometric connections with other people. But why? What's the point of all this? This last part is going to try and reframe the entire game of life itself. Think about it like this. There are two kinds of games. You've got finite games, like a game of chess. The goal is simple. You play to win. And once someone wins, the game is over. But then you have infinite games. Think of things like friendship, or culture, or life itself. The goal of an infinite game isn't to win. It's to keep playing. The point is to keep the game going. So that brings us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? What kind of game is the universe playing? Is it a finite game, trying to rush towards some final perfect state where it can declare, I win and everything just stops? Or is it playing an infinite game, where the whole point is just to keep the beautiful, messy, complicated game going? And the answer this framework gives us is, well, it's pretty powerful. The universe isn't in a hurry. It's not trying to win, it's playing an infinite game. And that means your goal isn't to win at life. It's not about reaching some finish line of perfection. No, your task is something far more creative and I think way more profound. It's simply to play your part beautifully.